drive out. Alright. Oh shit! Okay. Okay. That looks a little bit nicer than OEM. Hell yeah. We've got the engine bay stripped down to get at the actual damage, and you can see that's not great. As you can see, we've got a lot more welds going on here. It should be a lot stronger than it was before we started. Put back together, closed up, and all that's left to do is re-counterbalance and align the car, and it should be good to send on our test day next Saturday. It's the first morning here at Lime Rock. Drove 700 miles out here. It still feels kind of crazy being here. Smoky Mountains living up to their name this morning, and yeah, just a little look around the paddock. I feel pretty well prepared. The car feels pretty well sorted out. Let's see what we can do with it. right, first session is done. It is wild to drive this track in real life, and a little more intimidating than I might have expected. Uphill is very high commitment, but I convinced myself that the car's got it just fine. It's just going to be like working up the nerve to just stay completely flat there. I did a 105.1 in the first session, which I'm pretty happy with as a baseline. Obviously, I need to work my way down into the fours. Chris Rice came out of the gate with
and
an
attention, the
insane
paddock checkered flag is out. Next session is rush for practice 2.
I still got a bit before my next
All
session.
rush cars
Yeah,
and drivers should be
the
in
car
the
feels
grid.
good. It's a little bit loose in downhill, like I'm neutral steering through the exit of downhill, but everywhere else it's like planted pretty good, and it's pretty much driving like it did in Assetto. So like the practice I think is going to pay off here. I know where I can get a little more time. I need to just be consistent, trust the car, trust myself, and I think I can put something good together this weekend. Here's hoping. All right, second session just ended. I'm feeling pretty good. I think the car's there for me, and it's like I'm finding the time where I expected to find it, and the car's there for me. I broke into the fours. I put down a 4.9, fastest time in my run group. Chris Rice, I don't know what he put down in his session, but he got bumped up a run group. But as of right now, it looks like I'm sitting pretty comfortably in P2. I'm still not like relaxing, and I know that I can find more time out there, so I'm still pushing, but I feel good right now. I successfully defeated my brain and any shred of self-preservation instinct, and I was just fully flat out through uphill every lap. I'm sending it pretty hard in West Bend. I feel like I threw away my best lap by like jumping the curb a little more than I wanted to in West Bend, but I'm happy with the lap that I managed to put down, and I'm happy with where I'm sitting. And yeah, this is the best I felt about my performance with this car in a while. So yeah, I'm glad I came out here. This is a cool track. This is a cool atmosphere. I'm having fun.
In your class is the time that we'll take here. We've got 2 heats already. We're on track for heat number 3 of the weekend, and we'll bring the action to you here in just a moment's time as Group E, I believe, is on course now. And take a look at our Falcon Sunday Cup running order, because these are the cars that you'll primarily see in this group. And already, Greg, a 12-car field in this class, and looks like David Best in that 134 sitting up at top at a sub-105 lap time.
Yeah, but not by much, is it? It's sub 105, but you got Rice at a 105.14, so he's really close there. Then about 4/10 back to dueling O'Brien and the rest. And the reason you'll see some cars that aren't necessarily in the Falcon Sunday Cup class is because in this format, you group cars by relative speed, not necessarily just by class. So that's why you'll have this 818 out there, which is most definitely not a Falcon Cup car. But nonetheless, yeah, a great run by Best. Here is the fastest laps we've seen turned thus far in this group, and really stellar lap there. A fifth, is that right?
Well, that's
the overall
of,
here.
of the
whole
overall
thing.
for the weekend.
And there,
so.
there you saw that record time then. Didn't you?
So this will give you an idea of some of the fastest times we've seen in this group. Of course, Vincent Nardone in the 5:07 at a 1:03. So this is our overall ticker. We'll flip back and forth between the classes we're focusing on and the overall for the session. But just to give you a little perspective, there's Nick Berg, who's quickest so far in this session in Falcon Sunday Cup. And when we go back to the single class formula, you'll see him second in Sunday Cup.
So that Best, that time that Best set, that was set previously. So I like this because it gives us an idea of where people are relative to the top time overall that's been turned so far in each of these categories. And that's what they're doing. They're out there chasing every. And the nice thing about this, you go out, you put in the best lap you possibly can. Ooh, caught a little curve there.
Ooh, that's going to be a wild ride. Spin, slide. And
Stop.
Ooh, a little contact there at the top of the hill.
Just needed to keep those brakes locked for a second. I think he saw cars coming.
Yeah, you don't want to stop on the racetrack there necessarily at that blind crest. So car around there at turn 7. There's a local yellow covering that, but we might have to go full course because it'd be tricky to get him turned around there.
And you can see how abrupt the curbs are on the entries, particularly to West Bend up there, because he just clipped that curb with that right rear tire, and you can see it just lifted the back of the car up and just, somebody else having a spin. I think somebody in front of him, it looked like here. So
yeah, not down here at turn 7 from what we can see. So and we have the full course yellow out on the racetrack, so that will bring us to a halt for the time being while we go retrieve that car from turn number 7. So as we go back, and just got a little wide there at the top of the hill, Greg, and slip back around. And again, you have to kind of weigh your options as a driver. Do you lock the brakes down and stop at the blind crest, or do you let it back into the Armco there? And neither is a great solution, but
it's
the next day.
All right, first session of Saturday done, and I think I may have, well, I'm not gonna say that. I always think I can do better. I think I could do better, but I exceeded all my expectations. I ran a 104.4, which is, I know what Chris had in first place, but I don't know. I haven't looked at the results yet. I don't know who's ahead on the hundreds, but yeah, it was just like, I was just doing image training all night. I knew that I had something cooking with West Bend and everything in that last session when I lost the lap, because Joe unfortunately crashed right in front of me, and it cost me my fastest lap last night. But yeah, I just took it as like, I took the knowledge from that, applied it to this, and it came together better than I could have possibly hoped for. I rotated my tires diagonally to put the healthiest one on the front left corner. And then of course it started to rain right before our session, so I was getting a little concerned with my backwards directional tires going into what could be a possibly wet track. But the rain passed before we had to go out. The Teslas were out before us and dried it off. We had probably the fastest track we're gonna have all weekend to work with out there. I am extremely happy with my performance right now, and I'm just gonna see where it lands me. I feel like the car is back. I feel confident now that it in fact was that damage holding me back all season, and this weekend has done so much for my mental game and for my confidence in general. And yeah, just all the support I've gotten from Chris and Kasha at Morton Automotive is huge. Seb has been absolutely phenomenal, helping me with parts, helping me go over and prep the car, helping keep me in a good place mentally. Hybrid racing coming through with the shifter and all that. It was an amazing surprise. That's just, this season it was rough in the middle, but I think I'm gonna finish strong here. I feel good about how that went.
A few moments later.
All right, had a chance to see the results, and unfortunately, everybody went crazy fast that session. I'm currently sitting in third. It doesn't change the way I feel about how I ran, but Chris stepped it up, ran a 4.1. Joe came out of nowhere after crashing yesterday. I guess the car's all right. He also ran a 4.1. So I guess I was hoping I might get to relax after this session, but I guess I can't turn it off yet. I gotta keep seeing if I can find more time out there. This is close, this is stressful, but I feel good about my performance. I feel good being back right in the mix and knowing that I've got it and that the car's got it and that I just need to follow through. So we'll see what happens. All right, we are done, I guess. Our last session just finished.
Time attack, group B.
Yeah, the other groups are still running. I did not go anywhere close to how fast I've been going in that last session, and I think I bent or broke a wheel with an off coming out of turn 2. I was really going for it. The track wasn't really there for it. I made that mistake, and yeah, I came back on. I heard it hit. It sounded bad. I felt a really bad vibration in the wheel, and I was like backing out of all the like really dangerous corners for a few laps to just see like, is something gonna break? Am I about to die? And I was just gradually feeling it out, and I never really got back to 100% confidence with it. The vibration didn't totally go away. And yeah, it was like by the time I started feeling comfortable enough to push a little bit, the tires were falling off, the track was all greased up. I didn't do well in that session. I made mistakes, I didn't drive well. However, it doesn't look like anybody really went any faster in that session, and as far as I'm aware, I have secured third place. And
There are certain ways to set them
It's
up
like
to get the max
I keep
feedback,
saying,
but
I am
November
just,
and
if I could
December,
get
so
podiums
you want to
forever, no matter what
choose
position it is, I'd be
kilometers,
thrilled.
less trouble.
Obviously, the more the
Maybe
threes
everyone
pile up
that-
on my
that
shelf, the
helps.
more I start to
Yeah,
kind of get the
stick at
itch
back
for a
there.
2 or a 1.
Little
but
rotation there, and it's okay. You
but
know,
I'm really happy with how I
that little
performed
bit
this
of
weekend.
rotation,
I'm really
and
glad I made the
biggest
trip
thing
out here.
is if
I'm
you
glad
see
to have
what's called
confidence
the
back
foot
with the
bank
car
of the
after
rear
all the
tires.
repairs. I
Now
cannot
you're
thank
walking it across
Chris
the surface
from Unported,
much.
Seb from
It's
Seb's
obviously
Garage. I cannot thank them enough for the support that they've given me,
That
both
little
in the
bit
shop,
that, you know,
at
you're
the
west
track,
of the foot
and
bank,
just like person to
and you
person, just like pumping me
rotate
up and
that
helping me
much.
with the mental game.
You know,
It's
if you
huge.
tend to have a
It
little in there
helps
push
so,
of the
so
car,
much.
you can induce that,
Like
and
sometimes I feel like
slows
driving the
that
car's the
push out,
easiest
and then
part.
you pick the throttle up a little bit
But yeah.
sooner, as you exit
Third
the turn
place.
or head into the
It's
next
my first
corner.
podium since Rev Up, and
That's a good looking bet there, the
it feels good to
176.
feel like I belong here again, if that makes sense. It's like I was really doubting myself those last couple events, and
That event.
this
Did
feels
really,
good,
really well.
and I hope I can carry this forward to pit race and have an equally good showing there, or better. We'll see what happens. But yeah, good weekend, awesome track, grid life's a great vibe. My buddies are doing well. Yeah, I don't have to drive anymore, so I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the weekend.